black hole is not an empty hole in space. It is an enormous amount of matter packed into an incredibly small region. The most important part is the event horizon. This is not a solid surface. It is a boundary. Once something crosses it, there is no path back out. Not matter, not radiation, not even light. That is why the black hole itself is invisible. The bright ring shown in most images is material outside the black hole. Gas and dust can orbit around it, forming a fast-moving disk that becomes extremely hot and begins to glow. But black holes are not giant vacuum cleaners that pull in everything around them. From far enough away, objects can orbit one just like they orbit any other object with the same mass. If the sun were replaced by a black hole with exactly the same mass, Earth would continue along the same orbit. It would become very dark and very cold, obviously, but it would not suddenly get pulled in. A stellar mass black hole is the small version, which sounds harmless for about half a second, because small can still mean several times heavier than the sun. These black holes are born from massive stars. A huge star burns through its fuel, reaches the end of its life, and its core starts collapsing under its own gravity. Not every dead star ends the same way. Some cores stop as white dwarfs. Heavier cores can collapse into neutron stars, but if the leftover core is even heavier, the collapse does not stop there. The outside of the star may explode outward as a supernova, but the center goes the other way. It falls inward, and once gravity wins completely, the core keeps collapsing until a black hole forms. Isolated or wandering black holes. Most black holes we notice are not really alone. They have gas falling around them or a nearby star giving them away. But some black holes drift through space by themselves. No glowing disk, no companion star, no dramatic space, just darkness. These are isolated or wandering black holes. They may have formed from massive stars and then been kicked away after the explosion that created them, and without anything nearby to feed on, they can be almost impossible to see. The black hole itself gives off no light, and if no gas is falling in, there is no bright ring to reveal where it is. So sometimes the only clue is gravity. If a wandering black hole passes in front of a distant star, it can bend and magnify that star's light for a short time. The star brightens, then fades, and the black hole keeps moving. No flash, no warning, just an invisible object, heavier than the sun, drifting through the galaxy. Intermediate mass black holes are the awkward middle child of black holes, too big to be normal stellar mass black holes, too small to be supermassive black holes, and somehow much harder to find than both. A stellar mass black hole can form when a massive star dies. A supermassive black hole can sit in the center of a galaxy, surrounded by stars, gas, and chaos. But intermediate mass black holes sit in the gap between them. They may weigh hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of times more than the sun. That is what makes them interesting. If smaller black holes can feed, merge, and grow over time, then this middle stage should be part of the process. A black hole can gain mass from gas clouds, dust, pieces of torn-apart stars, or even another black hole. Bit by bit, that material adds up. A black hole does not go from a few times the mass of the sun to millions of times in one neat jump. There should be steps in between. Intermediate mass black holes could be one of those steps, but clear examples are surprisingly hard to pin down. We have found candidates, but not enough to make the whole growth story feel solved. Maybe they are rare, maybe they grow through this stage quickly, or maybe many of them spend most of their lives quietly, without enough nearby material to feed on. So this category matters because it sits right in the question mark. Small black holes exist, supermassive black holes exist. Intermediate mass black holes may help explain how one becomes the other. Supermassive black holes are where the scale gets stupid. These are not a few times heavier than the sun. They can be millions or even billions of times more massive. They live at the centers of galaxies, including our own. At the center of the Milky Way sits Sagittarius A, a black hole about 4 million times the mass of the sun. But even that is small compared to some of the monsters out there. The strange part is that we still do not fully know how they became so huge. Maybe they grew from smaller black holes. Maybe they formed from massive early seeds. What we do know, they can shape the space around them on a massive scale. Stars orbit around the galactic center. Gas can fall inward, and when enough material gets close, the area around the black hole can become one of the brightest places in the universe. The black hole itself stays dark, but the galaxy around it can light up because of what is falling in. A supermassive black hole is not just a bigger version of the small ones. It is a dark engine sitting in the middle of a galaxy. Quasars got their name because at first they fooled us. From far away, they looked like tiny star-like points in the sky. So at first, they seemed almost like stars. But they were not stars. They were much farther away. And if something is that distant but still looks bright, it has to be incredibly powerful. A quasar is the bright active center of a galaxy. It forms around a supermassive black hole with lots of material falling toward it. The black hole itself stays dark, but the material around it becomes so hot and energetic that it can outshine the entire galaxy. From Earth, a quasar may look like one small dot, but that dot is actually the center of a galaxy, glowing from billions of light years away. Many quasars are extremely distant. Their light began traveling when the universe was much younger, and galaxies had more gas for black holes to feed on. So a quasar is not a star. It is a distant galaxy center, powered by one of the brightest engines in the universe. Blazars are basically quasars with the beam aimed at us. They come from the same kind of active galaxy center, powered by a feeding, supermassive black hole. From our point of view, it is like a lighthouse. The beam exists either way, but when it points straight at you, it becomes impossible to ignore. Except this lighthouse is a galaxy center, and its jet is blasting particles almost at the speed of light. So a quasar is already extreme. A blazar is what happens when the extreme thing faces the camera. A binary black hole is exactly what it sounds like. Two black holes orbiting each other, not friends, more like two problems stuck in the same gravity trap. They can form when two massive stars are born together, live together, and both eventually collapse into black hole. Or they can meet later in crowded places like dense star clusters. At first, they may orbit each other from far apart, but over time, that orbit can shrink. The black holes lose energy by sending tiny ripples through space-time. These ripples are called gravitational waves. As the orbit gets smaller, the black holes move faster until eventually they merge. Two black holes become one larger black hole, and the collision sends a burst of gravitational waves across the universe. No bright explosion needed, no glowing disk required, just two invisible objects crashing together so violently that space itself shakes. A spinning black hole is exactly that, a black hole that rotates, but it does not spin like a planet because there is no solid surface to watch. Instead, the spinning black hole twists the space around it. Gas, dust, and even light have to move through that warped, rotating region. A little like space itself is being pulled into a whirlpool. Most black holes probably spin because the things that formed them were already rotating. Stars rotate, gas clouds rotate, even black hole mergers can add more spin. So a spinning black hole is not just sitting in space, it is dragging the space around it along for the ride. White holes are one of the stranger ideas that comes from black hole physics. A black hole is a region where things can enter but cannot escape. A white hole would be the opposite. Matter and energy could come out, but nothing could enter. Not gas, not light, not even the material around it. From the outside, a white hole would look like something releasing matter and energy into space. But unlike a normal explosion, the idea comes from the mathematics of general relativity. The important thing is that white holes are still theoretical. Astronomers have not confirmed that one actually exists, but black holes were theoretical at first too. For a long time, they were an idea predicted by equations before real evidence was found. White holes have not had that moment yet, so they are not a confirmed object like stellar mass or supermassive black holes. They are more like a possible mirror image in the mathematics. A black hole is where the universe lets things fall in. A white hole would be where the universe only lets things come out.